Hello everyone. This video is for my technical writing class as we move into week 5 and we learn about writing correspondence documents. This is a busy week in terms of the assignments due. We have 3 assignments due, but I don't think that any one assignment should be particularly difficult or challenging. And so if you manage your time wisely, maybe do 1 assignment a day, this shouldn't be too hard. So the 3 assignments that we have due are the letter of transmittal, the email, and the memo. And so I wanted to make a video today to discuss these 3 assignments, kind of break down the expectations for each of them so that you can get them done as easy and as harmless as possible. So we'll start off with the letter of transmittal assignment. So for this assignment, you are going to be preparing a letter that is going to introduce your larger portfolio. It'll be basically the first real document in your portfolio, and it is designed just to introduce the topic and the argument that you will be making. So with that in mind, you will use information from this lesson to format your letter, and your letter should be 1 page long and should be written like a formal business letter addressed to a boss. You could use a fictional boss if you want for this assignment. You can just make up a name, or if you have a real boss in mind, that's fine too. What the letter needs to include is the title of your portfolio, a description of your topic, what you want the reader to do with the information of your portfolio, and then an overview of the different documents that are included in the portfolio. So for example, the portfolio will have a memo detailing sources. It will have a formal report. It will have a proposal. You want to include those concepts within your letter. And then you just need to format it like a professional letter. It shouldn't be too hard. Just the hardest thing about this assignment is to make sure that each of those content elements that I just described, the title of the portfolio, the description of your topic, what you want the reader to do with the information, and an overview of the documents within the portfolio. The hardest part of the assignment is just making sure that you have all of those things discussed briefly in the letter. It shouldn't be too bad. That takes us to our second assignment for the week, which is the email assignment. The email assignment asks you to write a professional business email. You can have it addressed to a made-up email address for that made-up boss again if you want. But the idea is that it's designed to give a status update on the research into your project. So the things that need to be in the email, you need to have briefly explained the overarching debate and the 2 major arguments of your topic, the 2 major sides. Then you need to explain which side you plan to argue and list a minimum of 3 reasons against the opposing argument. And then finally, you will just provide an update about when your final portfolio or proposal will be ready. In this case, you can just say like the last day of class. I don't have the calendar in front of me, so I'm not sure what day that is, but you can just say, the complete portfolio will be available on the last day of class. Make sure that your email has a to heading, a to address field, a from address field, a subject line, a greeting, and then a professional signature block. That means more than just your name. Again, it should only be about 250 words, so this isn't a crazy challenging assignment, and hopefully it won't take you too long. Finally, we have the memo assignment. This is probably the hardest assignment of these 3, but even then it shouldn't be too challenging. For the memo assignment, you are going to prepare a memo that is going to be included in your portfolio, and on the memo you need to list and properly cite using standard format, preferably APA format, 3 different sources. So you're going to give the full reference citation for the 3 sources. One source should be a scholarly article from a peer-reviewed journal. If you're not sure where to find such a thing, check out the databases. Go in to like EBSCO or ProQuest through the Pima library, and you'll be able to find things like that. One source should be from a credible website, and one should be from a popular source that would not be acceptable for a formal report. So for example, Wikipedia is not an acceptable source because anyone can go in and change what information on a Wikipedia article says, and until it gets like fact checked or edited back, that just is listed as if it was true, right? So once you have done the references for these three sources, you then need to explain briefly what the three articles are about and whether or not they are credible and how they will be used in your formal report and how they kind of compare to one another. A better way of thinking about this than just a memo, I suppose, would be essentially you're writing an annotated bibliography. So for a standard annotated bibliography, you are listing sources that you're going to use in your project and just kind of giving a brief overview of what those sources are. That's it for these three assignments. They're not super long assignments, so I know it's the initial tendency is to freak out when you see three assignments due in a week, and I get that, but I don't think they're really challenging assignments too much. I do want to say, however, that the goal of this week is to help you improve your professional correspondence capability. And I do think that this is something that is really important. In a lot of ways, in the modern job field, we communicate so much through emails and letters and written communication, especially emails, digital communication. And it's easy to just fire off an email real quick and not check spelling and grammar and not have an appropriate greeting and appropriate signature and things like that. But people are judging you based on your professionalism in your communication. And whether or not it's intentional or whether or not it even should be this way, if you are communicating through email or letters or memos in a non-professional manner, it's hard to separate that from your actual professionalism in your real job. And so what I mean by that, for example, I work with so many different students. I have usually 50 to 100 online students, and currently like 200 high school students, okay? And I get emails from students all the time that they have no subject to them. They're from an email address I don't recognize, and they say simply things like, "Hey, when was assignment due?" No signature, nothing. The kind of communications are problematic because, first of all, I can't help that student. I don't know what exactly they're talking about. Second, they've kind of wasted their own time and wasted my time a little bit, because now we're going to have a follow-up email. I'm going to have to respond and say, I don't know who this is or what class you're in. I need more information before I can help you. And so we'll have to have this, back and forth. And then third, it's a little disrespectful and a little just unprofessional. And it's whether or not it should, it sort of changes how I would think about that student. And so think about that with your own professional communications. I think we've just gotten so used to the text message culture of the modern day where we text quick messages without any real format. And that's fine for text messages, but it's not fine for professional emails or letters or memos. And so this is definitely in a week of improving our online branding of how we market ourselves through our words and through our written words. So consider that as you are working through these assignments. All three assignments have a preview date of today, Wednesday the 3rd, which means you can submit them early for preview. Please allow 48 hours from the preview deadline for feedback. I'll grade them, give give you comments in the actual file. You can download the file and look at the comments and then make the necessary changes. And then the final deadline for these assignments is Sunday, October 7th at 11 o'clock p.m. Mountain Time. If you have any questions about these assignments, just let me know and I'll be happy to help you. Until then, have a great week.